Hey there, Tennessee fans. Welcome to another episode of Tennessee Fan Talk, celebrating the win on Big Rocky Top. Nice revenge game. Closed out the way we wanted to, and we got a show for you this week. We're going to talk a little McCoy. We're going to talk the VOLS keys to the victory and moving forward. We're going to talk about the shade thrown by Rattler, what we need from the bye week, and SEC. The Duke has been calling out the frauds. He may have been right. All that, little more, this episode, Tennessee Fan Talk. Welcome back, listeners. We appreciate you tuning in with us every week. You got the Duke.
We here. Big win.
You got Byrd. You've got Tennessee Fan Talk. What a big win in Rocky Top. Big revenge game. Blackout, if you want to call it. They said something about checkering kneeling, but there was a lot of black in
the fans just said we're going to black out in more ways than one. If you go what I'm saying.
We do want to start the show with offering our prayers for the family of Bru McCoy. What a crazy... Football's just crazy. You know, the smallest little things. You get rolled up and you just... Something like that.
Dislocated his ankle, I believe, what I saw
had surgery today. It was a fracture and dislocated ankle, out for the season. But... while we're on the topic, he does have it is decision time. 2024 for Bru McCoy. He still has a year left of eligibility.
How?
COVID. He still has his COVID year. Now, he was not going to come back. He was going to declare for the draft, but now he's missing his final season due to his injury. And in the draft, you know, they don't know if he's come back, despite how he does in the combine. They just don't know how he's going to come back, or he's going to make way less money. He's going to fall way down in the draft. He's going to not make as much money as what he could. I personally think he should come back for another year.
Well, I'm sure you do, being a Tennessee fan, but he's going to weigh out his options, and he just whatever he wants to do, man. If he wants to come on back, come on. We like you. Come on. If you don't, best of luck in the NFL.
Poured his heart out. He found a home.
Yep, he's definitely a give it all for Tennessee kind of guy.
He is a VFL, for sure, most definitely. Yep. Prayers go out to the McCoy family, parents, of course, as you saw on the broadcast. If you watched it on television, that family had flown in from California and witnessed the devastation.
You hate to see it, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes.
You've been watching Bruce Almighty.
No, I just remember it.
The VOLS, our second topic here, VOLS keys to victory. You got to hand it to three groups. Running backs. The offensive line, tuned up there with having, thank goodness Cade Mays was back.
Or Cade Mays, whatever. I get them mixed up. Whatever. His name's Cooper, ain't it?
Is that Cooper Mays? It's just Mays.
I don't know. I
thought it was Cade Mays. One of the Mays brothers.
Sure. I think this was the one that did not go to Georgia in the first place to be a hardo.
I love that he came back though. He's like, you know what?
It's just like, asking Jesus for forgiveness. In a roundabout way. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it's been a crazy day. O-line. So we said running back, said O-line. And then you got to give it to the entire defense.
It's like we learned how to tackle in 1 week. It's shocking.
It's crazy how well they tackled. There was only one time where a running back got through and went for deep. Dude was fast for such a little squatty guy.
You'll have that.
I'm like, how are they not catching him?
Because he's fast. He makes people that look fast not so fast. That is fast, look not so fast.
Defense stepped it up, did what they had to do, which, if you remember, last week's show, I said, I'm not going to pick Tennessee. And then, as I started talking about how bad South Carolina's offensive line have been and how it's a revenge game and how the defense is going to step up, how we're number one for tackles for loss, how we're number one in the SEC on sacks. I talked myself into it and said the defense was going to win this game.
How many sacks did we have? I'm trying to find it, and I cannot. 6?
6. 6 sacks?
Better than 5.
And I think the only... reason that I remember that straight off my was that someone showed a meme from last year where Spencer was counting. You see that? And he was like, 6. What is that? How many sacks?
Spencer Rattler's a bum. He's probably going to come back again next year, figure out a way to play.
6 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, 32 yards on that loss for them. So that's fantastic. We only had 1 tackle for loss for 6 yards, which was a sack as well.
Mm-mm.
So,
decent.
Hooray. Now, while we're still digging into VOLS, we have to talk about it. We're gonna go down the list first like we always do. 24 first downs for Tennessee, a little bit more than our average. 238 yards rushing, 239 yards passing. Talk about a pretty... balanced game there, 21 for 32, not awful.
Interception's a little sneaky.
There
was some drop balls, though, for sure. There was some...
I'll give, once again, we're going to talk about that, and the I don't know if it was your boy Jordan Rogers calling the game.
I can't stand Jordan Rogers. My man, I can't. Go back to The Bachelor. Come on.
I love how he... Well,
he ain't as bad as freaking Robert Griffin III, though.
Look, when he starts talking about, when you played for Vanderbilt. Come on.
You played at Vanderbilt.
Sure, I mean, you came in...
Was James Franklin the coach there when he was there?
I think so. That would...
James Franco, maybe?
So, but he did say one thing. One of them on the broadcast said one thing that I have said for a while, and he said, no amount of time on jugs machines can get you prepared for what Joe Milton throws at you. And I agree with that.
I mean, it's like if you're scared to go to church thing. People that play baseball are afraid to get up in the batter's box because they're afraid about getting pegged by a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. That's probably what it feels like when you're trying to catch one of his balls.
We were on the bad side of the penalty, 7 penalties for 58 yards. Now you need to take away maybe the kickoff that went out.
That might have been the best officiated game we've had all year.
It was,
other than the missed pass interference on Squirrel White's catch that he still called it.
I said, what? I mean, I get he called it. We're going to decline it, but you still got to throw it.
Well, it don't matter.
Yeah,
maybe they need to make it a spot foul in college too.
Maybe. Punting looked good.
Shockingly,
it looked good.
Well, they called it. I was at the bar watching it. What was that one punt that they called?
They called back. Not enough biscuit boys on the line. You got to have the high numbers there on the line, and they didn't have. They didn't have.
I was at the bar and I couldn't really understand what they were saying.
Here's what we don't like, and it's a trend, and I don't like it. 3rd down conversions. We talk about this every week. Better than South Carolina, but we were still 7 of 15. You cannot.
No.
You can't have the speed that our offense has and going 3 and out. You just can't do it. Your defense will get tired. Now, South Carolina, not a fantastic team. But
they feel like they've got a better record than they do.
We're not to that yet.
That's a little foreshadowing.
That's our next topic. But after the bye week, going against A&M,
I'm scared of A&M.
I am too. You cannot have these 3 and outs. You cannot have that defense tired. We only went for 4th down one time and converted. Red zone, scoring chances, 5 for 5.
100%.
100%. So you got to like that.
Sure.
Now let's get to the elephant in the room. That elephant being the big man, Joe Milton. 21 for 32, 239 yards. I saw if it's not Twitter anymore, it's not a tweet. What is it?
It's
an X.
I was trying to incorporate D-Generation X, but I couldn't think. It's like a Sweet Chin Music from Shawn Michaels. Sweet Chin Music.
It's
D-Generation X.
It's an X-Pac.
Suck it. It's a suck it. That's what it is. Suck it.
Oh, rolling back to your WCW, NWO days.
That's WWF, buddy. Get it right. That's Stone Cold Steve Austin, D-Generation X, and now NWO was WCW.
Yes, that's
Hulk Hogan.
When that went away is when I quit watching wrestling.
My mother would not let me watch WWF because they cussed too much, so I had to watch Monday Night Nitro, which came on an hour before Monday Night Raw, and then I would try to sneak in Raw, and then I got caught one time, and they grounded me, and they thought I wasn't smart enough, so they unplugged the cable from my television.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like I'd turn it on, it'd just be, white back then.
Yeah.
And they thought, that's how they're going to make sure he's, grounded and can't watch it. Well, I figured I'd put that cable in day one. Then I got my hind end beat.
Hey, isn't it funny how 20 years ago, a TV that was messed up is today's white noise machines that just sell for major bucks.
Yeah, that's if you need a white noise machine out there, you've got some more issues. Listen to Wales or something. Come on.
So on formerly Twitter, formerly a tweet,
mm-hmm.
The guy goes, basically, all of y'all hating on Milton, basically, what about now? 21 for 32, 2 interceptions. The running backs and the defense won that game. Milton, was he better? Absolutely.
There was some glimmers of hope.
Absolutely.
There was some glimmers of some good decisions.
His longest was 50, and he had nothing to do with that. That ball was underthrown by at least 3 yards. He had to he really had to slow down and come back to it, and he just made a miraculous catch.
Mm-hmm.
While being put through a chokehold.
A choke slam. Courtesy of Captain Insano.
While he was being grabbed by Kane.
Sure, yeah, sure.
Since we're making
the mayor of Knoxville. Which is true.
So Milton, still questionable. He's still maybe gaining momentum, but still questionable.
Well, if he's gaining momentum right now is the time to do it.
That's okay. I'd love to see how he looks in the next one. A&M's got, they've got time. Now, we're going to be looking at them and their mistakes, and we don't have to worry about a game in between where they do. Hopefully, they don't look ahead too far and start figuring out how to get past our OLine, which played well. After the game, your boy, Spencer, threw some shade.
He ain't got nothing else to throw.
And he couldn't throw nothing all night.
No, he couldn't throw nothing all night, so might as well throw some shade.
Yeah, so since he only threw for 169 yards and spent the rest of his time on his back.
Mm-hmm. He put the team on his back.
He says that it was our Super Bowl. And I love how they beat us last year and stormed the field. We
they
beat them.
rightfully so.
We
They
beat
should've-
them. Go arm in arm. Do our dance. Get some skull gifts thrown at from the crowd, and then we go to bed.
Let me, brothers and sisters in Christ, let me preach on something for a minute. Spencer Rattler, I mean, I understand why he gets so upset because he was like Garantano, right? He was supposed to be the next big thing. Got drafted or got recruited by Oklahoma, which is not a bad program.
It's not.
South Carolina's
We're
on
going to
dregs,
have some
you know what I'm
healthy
saying?
competition
South Carolina
coming in.
stinks. Ask them how many SEC championships they have. Oh, that's right, 0. Oklahoma will have one before South Carolina.
Oh, and Texas is not looking bad.
Just saying. So Spencer Rattler has probably got some demons on the inside of his body. I don't hold him. It's not his fault. I feel bad for the young man. He just did not come out, and he's like. And then another breaking news: Shane Beamer is my least favorite coach in the SEC now, taking away it from Eli Drinkwitz.
So I'm
Shane
watching.
Beamer is. Like I said, I've said it a million times. It's Butch Jones 2.0. Spencer Rattler didn't have nothing else better to say. It was probably his Super Bowl, and he's probably like very what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word. I'm a dummy. But anyway, like I said, he's just sad, and we feel like we're a better team than 2 and 3. Well, newsflash,
You're not.
you're not. You're not. And now he knows he's probably not going to make it. Like I said, he was supposed to be the next big thing. And you know what the bad thing is? He's probably going to go down as the best quarterback in South Carolina history. Now, can you name me another one? I just know that one guy that keyed I don't know his name, but he keyed the professor's cars back in the day. Garcia was his name. There you go.
Their other most notable quarterback is now a receiver with Doty.
Yeah, Steve Spurrier. That's the best quarterback that's ever had anything to do with the football program at University of South Carolina. Was Steve Spurrier.
When we were watching the broadcast, and I heard my wife, Shane did something, and I don't know if it was his interview or something, him running out on the field and had this face, and I started rolling, and she goes, "What is so funny?" I said, "Because the Duke right now is going, look at this doucher."
He absolutely is. He's going to be the head coach of Virginia Tech here in the next 10 years, 5 years. 10 years. They for some reason, they love him in South Carolina. It's kind of like in Alabama, you'll keep your job pretty much if you beat Auburn every year. If he can beat Clemson, he's going to be fine because they're not going to beat anybody else.
Ooh.
They might beat Florida.
Perfect segue. You talking about Auburn? We've got to talk about. What kind of rest we need on our bye week, and then we have the Duke's sneaky SEC maybe coming to life. We want to talk about how we did on our picks. Hopefully, you did well on yours.
Spencer Rattler, you're a bum.
We'll talk about all that when we get back.
The punter has a better arm than you do.
Oh, I can't. It's hard to hit this button because when I'm sitting there watching that throw last night, I go, can you imagine the interview process for this? You want to be a kicker for South Carolina? Yeah, you do. Have you ever played quarterback?
We also keep your jock strap in a lunch pail because we carry a lunch pail because we bring our lunch to the game, just like Frank Beaver did with Mike Vicks and his pit bulls. Some of them didn't make it. R.I.P.
We'll be back right after this. Welcome back, Tennessee fans. Thanks for tuning in. Tennessee Fan Talk back at you now. Hopefully, your picks were as good as ours last week. Matter of fact, we both, Duke and I, got them all right except for one because LSU was bumps. Did you see? Wait a minute. Did you
crap
see
on the field?
all? You read all the crap we got for throwing stuff on the field when we play Ole Miss, and then boop.
Here's the thing. I don't care if people throw stuff on the field. That don't hurt my feelings. Just don't be the pot calling the kettle black situation. You know what I'm saying? It's fine. Whatever. Raise hell. Do what you want. I don't care.
What? Welcome to Tennessee
I don't think Ole Miss
officiating.
fans, and we did it, were really the ones throwing shade. It was the national media, which we all know in every facet of anything national is fake. That's why ESPN sucks to watch.
I like what you did there.
You see what I did there? Read between the lines, folks.
I like that. We both picked that Kentucky game. I had it 35-28, so I was a little closer. You
know what I learned?
What's that? Florida's bums?
Besides that, I know that. But you know what? You know how Kentucky is to us that we beat them every year? We are Florida's Kentucky. No matter how good you are. That's what I learned. So, like, Kentucky can roll in, and they could be undefeated. They'll probably be undefeated when they come play us. And we'll probably beat them.
This is the third time in 6 years that they've been 5-0 start.
Good for them. How many times have they beat us in the last 3 years?
Nada.
Oh, that's right, 0.
Nada. But they have beat Florida the last 3 years.
Like I said, our Kentucky is us to Florida. Except for last year, which, like I said, you're going to have your flukes every once in a while. But Florida's just, death, taxes, and Florida beating Tennessee in football.
Picked that A&M. I had 35-24. Got that one. Mizzou. We picked that one. Of course, Tennessee. Here's the big one. Let's skip over a couple of these. Let's talk about the big one. Last week's show. Mm-hmm. I go 35-31 Tennessee. You go, I think Tennessee, but I don't want to call anyone. But it's going to be 42-14. It's going to be a blowout. And I don't say who it is, but since you had already mentioned you thought it was Tennessee, I wrote Tennessee down immediately. 42-14.
Yep.
Fantastic call.
Well, like I said, blind squirrel plays with his nuts every once in a while.
Georgia. Getting into our topic here before we talk about this week's slate. The SEC has some sneaky frauds, and the Duke has been calling them out.
I think every team in the SEC is a fraud this year, or they're just so equal, which I don't believe that.
27-20 at the Georgia-Auburn game.
Well, it's good old-fashioned hate. Like I said, it's a rivalry game, but Georgia's quarterbacks, whatever that Beck fella is,
he looks
a little shaky.
Looks like maybe he's a pothead Falker.
I mean, there's a lot of them down there in Athens, but but they do have the best football player in the nation.
Brock Bowers, best football player in the nation.
My man could catch a Milton ball one-handed.
Dude. I mean, you remember that highlight last year where it came off the Florida guy's helmet?
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, he's got hands. And isn't he only a sophomore or junior? He's got another 2 years at least.
He'll leave early, but you got to
for him. He needs to.
Well, he's probably getting paid $1 million a year, if not a little bit more.
Need to look that up. It's supposed to be public information. Need to look that up. Hadn't done it.
Well, I mean, it's also public information how much a freaking senator gets paid, and a little inside trading.
Please tell me you're referring to that AOC bit where she called out Elon. Did you see it?
No, I did not. No,
She said, I didn't inherit my money. I had to get into Congress and work real hard. I'm like, you're not to make my millions. I go, you're not supposed to have, you've been in there 5 years. You're not supposed to have millions in Congress.
I can't remember the exact number, but I think they get paid $113,000 a year. It's probably tax free.
Of course it is.
Free health care, free Chevrolet Tahoe, because General
to
Motors
make her millions in 5 years. Come on.
Yeah. Though, she's sneaky hot, though. I'll give it to her.
Well, she did used to be a bartender.
Yeah, she probably worked at the La Hacienda. Mixing up those pre-made margaritas. Quesadillas.
She said, "Ski guys, I'm going to run for."
So I've got the Hispanic vote.
Oh God, bless. He went there.
It's what's the truth.
Vols,
Anyway, back to
Vols have a bye week this week. They had some injuries, and
I want to make a wild prediction here. Vols ain't going to lose this weekend.
no, I don't think they are.
No, I don't think so.
Good time to rest up. Mays come in, did great. Good, good recovery.
He was gassed, though.
Good yes. Good recovery time. Get that O-line strengthened back up. It doesn't seem like anything was major outside of Bru and Lampert. Is that his name?
Sure. I don't know.
We'll see. Rolling in week 6. God, week 6 already. Isn't that crazy?
Yep. And I think I'm not going to don't be shocked when Kentucky finishes second in the East, if not wins it.
No. Nope. Okay. I do. There's only 6 games this week. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm not going to watch any of them.
I am.
Not.
LSU.
I'm probably not.
23 LSU, which we needed. Vols dropping one in the rankings after beating South Carolina.
That's fine.
Missouri
the only rankings that matter are the
Missouri beats Vanderbilt and moves up.
It's a big win for the Tigers. Big program win there for a drink.
Oh, my goodness gracious. LSU and Missouri, the 12 Eastern ESPN game. LSU. 42-10.
We'll find out if Missouri's who we think, if Missouri is what they are showing so far. What'd you say? 30?
I said 42-10. Tigers. LSU.
I don't know. That Cook fella's pretty good.
Nah.
I feel like he's been there for 33 years.
LSU's coming in pissed.
But they're going to Missouri, which
they are.
Hard place to play.
With all them rocks and crap on the background.
Yeah.
It's like TSU playing down in.
But at the same time, LSU could just say, "Screw it, we going home. We done for the year." Because they're done.
You're not picking an upset. Come on.
No. I'm picking LSU because I hate Missouri.
Okay.
I pick from hate. I don't pick from stats. Like ball, I pick from what I hate, and I hate Missouri. LSU's going to win 28-10.
Not giving Daniels much there.
Well, Daniel's kind of overrated. He can run. He runs pretty well.
How in the world, the other 12 Eastern game on SEC Network, Western Michigan, Mississippi State.
Wouldn't that be something if Western Michigan beat them? That's the ones fellas for a while that had the one guy that went and coached. Now he coaches at Minnesota. Wasn't he the one that brought like the paddles, which makes no sense? Was that not him? And he wears like a suit and a tie. You know what I'm talking about? He coaches for Minnesota now.
Is it? My first instinct was like a 35-14 State. But do they just go full on air raid and put 60 on them?
Well, they can't go air raid anymore because Mike Leake's dead.
I know. In memory of. You still got Will.
I don't like
Will Rogers.
I don't like their helmets. Do you like it with the script state on the side?
Because
give me just the old school laddered MSU or stairs like MSU. You know what I'm talking about? Just give me the old school that.
Because I don't like their helmets.
Bring me back just the white helmet with the blue K on the side.
Western Michigan.
What?
Because you don't like their helmet, you're going Western
Michigan. No. I'm not that crazy, but I will say that Will Rogers is a fantastic name in a Western movie. That'd be fantastic for the good guy. Will Rogers. It's like Brandon Byrd starring as Will Rogers. Mississippi State's 35, Western Michigan 9.
9.
3 field goals.
The big CBS game of the week, 3:30 Eastern, Alabama at A&M.
A&M's winning.
Oh. Oof.
A&M's winning.
So is it A&M beats them and then comes off of a high and Tennessee gets them, or they're just rolling from that point?
I think they're rolling.
So you're going A&M.
I sure am. Who's their one loss to?
Right, you're going to tell me unranked A&M.
Rank don't matter no mo. As long as unless you in the top 4.
They lost to Miami. Okay. They have played New Mexico, Miami, ULM, Auburn, and Arkansas.
They beat Alabama. Statement win. Or Jimbo Fisher's gone. And then Josh Heupel goes coaches at A&M. No, I'm just kidding.
That's not funny.
It's a joke. It's a joke. Because Alabama's offense stinks. Milroe stinks. They don't have. I don't know any of their guys that play on their team. Who's the McCollin, the running back? I feel like he's not that dominant. He's not like that Dominic Derrick Henry guy or Mark Ingram guys they've had in the past. Does that Kool-Aid fella still play for him too?
Kool-Aid McKinstry, yes.
It's a great name. But Texas A&M wins 28.
Oh, God.
17. 28-17.
You're real. I've got Alabama 38-31.
Nope.
The snooze fest of the week, 4 o'clock Eastern, SEC Network, Vanderbilt at Florida. If this was at Vandy, I may have picked them, but it's in the swamp, so I'm going Gators.
But do the fans show up for a Vanderbilt game? This is like the game that you take your customers to. Hey man, I got tickets to the Vanderbilt game. Florida Vanderbilt, come on. Like the ones that you don't like your tier 2 guys. They don't spend enough money, but you want to keep them make them feel like they do. So hey, let's go to this game. Great news! I got tickets to the Gators game this week, and they have no idea.
They don't even know. They're like, oh yeah, I'm going, whatever. And then you get there and they're playing Vandy.
Yep, that's your tier 2 customer ticket. Florida wins, probably big. They might fire Sunbelt Billy though.
Oh man,
they just might.
Yeah, 35-14 Florida.
I'm not going to give a score. I just know Florida wins.
No, you got to give a score.
Big.
42-14?
42-21.
Okay. Oh, ESPN 7 o'clock game. Kentucky, Georgia.
This is another situation. We going to find out if Kentucky's who we think they are, if they put up a game.
I'm saying loss number 1 for Kentucky.
Yeah, they're going to. I think I'm almost like I know.
Can you imagine being in the meeting today in Georgia, going, "How in the world was this game this close?"
Because it's the oldest rivalry in the South. Like I said, I'm taking it with a grain of salt. I'm taking it for a grain of salt. It's like the Iron Bowl. There's always a chance in the Iron Bowl for whoever. But I know what I'm talking about. I think Kentucky's going to try to play the time of possession game. I feel like they play really slow. And that running back, that Davis fella, he's pretty good. He's hard to tackle.
42-35 Georgia.
42-30. You think it's going to be that? I think Beck's kind of a stinker.
You basing it off of, well, I'm throwing a defensive touchdown in there for Georgia.
28-10 Georgia. Just because it's going to be played
I can't not give Georgia 35 to 40 points. I just can't not do it.
I can. I just did.
And last but certainly not least, 7:30 SEC Network, Arkansas, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss might have the best offense in the SEC.
I'm going Ole Miss.
Sure. 55-21.
Ooh.
They're rolling. Lane Kiffin don't give a damn how bad he beat somebody. And he wants that. He wants to be the next head coach of Alabama, so he's got to prove.
Well, I got to price this right you on that one. 49-21.
It's all right.
hopefully, listeners, we're gonna post our picks on the Twitter,
the Degeneration X,
and the Facebook.
What about the Instagram? You're probably good at whipping up one of them real fancy pictures.
I can hit them. Shoot. Now
Hit
with
the
the
big boot buttons.
now with the power of AI, it is easier than ever to get your social media.
Yeah. Hey, AI, can you draw me a picture of Taylor Swift with double D tits?
God bless. And order me a pizza
with the Kansas City jersey.
That's hilarious.
What? I mean, you gotta ride high when everybody else is.
Absolute crazy.
Yeah, I don't care.
Absolute.
Don't care nothing about it. She's uglier than sin.
Very nice veneers.
If I had the money, I'd have veneers too.
We thank you guys.
I'd have me a grill, a Paul Wall grill.
Paul Wall.
Balls.
Carrots in my mouth.
Get it orange, encrusted in diamonds and balls.
Enjoy this week of no
stress.
Yeah, no cardiologist appointments this week.
We don't give a shit who wins and loses this week.
As long as A&M loses.
No, I want Kentucky, Vanderbilt, Florida.
You said
Alabama
you would
lose.
never root for Kentucky.
No, I told you I'd pull for Saddam Hussein before I would University of Kentucky.
And you want Kentucky to beat Georgia? No.
No.
Oh, okay. You were telling me who you want to go down.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. I said I'd pull for Saddam Hussein before I would.
In that case, I want
University of Kentucky.
Florida, Alabama, and Georgia to go down.
Whatever. You live your life.
Man, we want to thank you for tuning in to another episode. Thanks for spending this 37 or so minutes with us this week and every week. Wherever you are, we are at TN Fan Talk. Go Vols.
Instead of this week of Go Vols, it's No Vols. Bye week.
No Vols.
No Vols.